We are talking about angels and demons. That is a religiously charged words. I don't like to say those words, but it is what people are familiar with. I like using light and dark ones, close to source, further from source, to represent duality or opposing factions, uh, or different states of mental states or frequencies. We've already spoken about the details of this. This is chapter 5 from the Illuminati Hidden Illuminated Knowledge book. And let's pick up where we left off. This is chapter 5, I do believe, or chapter 6. And we are discussing the creation of fallen angels, dark ones, demons, also the process of involution of the light ones, angels, archangels. Again, I don't like using those words, but it's what people are familiar with. Let's continue on. The Kaigar was finally met with a higher power that nearly wiped them out, and only a few Kaigars remained. The details of how exactly these higher density beings removed the most of the Kaigars from the universe are unclear to me. Pause there. We're going to discuss what is commonly said about these events. Now, these events are happened such a long time ago. It is difficult to get a clear read on these events. But remember, time is not linear. What is true for your timeline could be false for mine. So there is no such thing as true and false when you speak of history events, because it's an unlimited amount of items that can happen. So it could be that the Kaigar went through a different event in different timelines. But let's continue on. I just wanted to mention that. Let's not get caught up on true and false. If you went through a regression and saw something different, or your higher self gave you an image of something else, but it's a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Let's just keep going. What is the common thought is that a group of 10 to 12th density beings called the Elohim were the ones that slowed down the Kaigar. When researching the Elohim, remember that the ancient text uses real titles for groups of beings and twists the information to fit their agenda. Let's move on. Pause there. If you go and research ancient texts, you'll see that there are that title is used, Elohim, but they're representing, or they're talking they twist the events or the title. So it's actually higher density beings when you hear the word Elohim. But oftentimes these texts, they'll refer to a title, and they're referring it, or it's been translated into a way that it doesn't accurately depict that group or person. Typically, the title represents a group. In this case, it's a higher density group. Very high. The higher density beings wanted the Kaigar to find love and enlightenment so they could evolve to the higher densities and stop this chaos. This is why they were not completely eradicated from the universe. The remaining Kaigars splintered off into small groups. The reptilians that came to exist after this great destruction to their race were called Draconians. The original Kaigar bloodline is considered royalty and maintained an elite status for the reptilian Draconians. The Kaigar are white and white-skinned. That's not what it says, but and are physically bigger than the Draconians. The Kaigar ranges between 14 and 22 feet tall and can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. They are very psychic and can introduce hallucinations into your reality. Their symbol is a dragon head looking straight at you, much like one of the hidden symbols in the Coca-Cola logo. But maybe that is only a coincidence. So many coincidences, but at what point do coincidences become mathematically an impossibility? The Draconians vary in color, but their front or underside is typically light brown, and their backs can be green, beige, brown, and can have freckles. Their eyes bulge out from their heads, and when they are about to consume human flesh, it has been said that they have a look as if they are squinting. More on their sacrificial rituals later. Let's go one more paragraph. The Kaigar separated the Draconian race into three class types, and they are workers, farmers, and warriors. Once back on their feet after they were decimated by higher density beings, probably a group of archangels that decided to slow the Kaigar down, they went back to their conquering ways. The Draconians are the oldest civilization known in the quadrant of the universe. For millions of years, they have explored countless stars and planets. Some of the Draconian races through the millions of years do expand and find the light. These consciousnesses evolve into higher densities and leave their reptilian physical form. So not all reptilians are bad. Many of the original souls that were Draconian have found peace and have been enlightened. These original Draconians are named after their original seeding planet and are called Alpha Draconians. Most of the Alpha Draconians have stopped their regressive ways and have been expanded. Once they figured out that the road back to source is through love, they began to develop technologies that far surpass what the regressive have developed. The positive Alpha Draconians are beyond interstellar. They are multidimensional. They can phase in and out of densities and time travel, but these technologies are only developed once the consciousness has reached higher densities, and that can only be done with having a state of mind of love and service to others. Pause, stop. That is because, as we just mentioned, is because the frequency needs to reach a certain level before these technologies can be accessed. And in order to reach those levels of frequency, your state of mind cannot be of service to self or regressive. It needs to be service to others, one of love, in order to reach those higher densities, those higher oscillations of frequency, where information will be unlocked to you for these abilities, where at one point, eventually, once you reach a certain level, you don't even need technology as far as spacecraft to go into another dimension or density for you to explore another plane of existence. Let's leave it there. Much love to our starseeds, and let's continue the hard work. Link in the bio. Completely free book at sourcehypnotherapy.com.